So good morning, Mrs. Bremner, and welcome to Berlin, and welcome to ITB, and welcome to ITB Convention. And I'm going to jump right into the subject. And my first question is, how would you describe the focus of your work, what you're actually doing, and why do you think it is important for the industry, what you are doing?
So I'm the Senior Head of Travel Research at Euromonitor International. We are a global market research company, and now more than ever is it very important for travel brands and destinations to have the most current and up-to-date information about the trends and the new behaviours of travellers around the world. So my job is to ensure that we are producing sort of robust and standardised research across the world, looking at different tourism categories. So for example, tourism flows. We have a travel forecast model so we can assess, for example, we were looking at the impacts of COVID and now we're in the recovery stage. So again, sort of moving with the industry and seeing what the new behaviours are.
I see. So, what are the most significant trends you're observing in the last few months, or maybe in the post-COVID period? What is the most significant things you see?
Well, today at ITB, I shall be sharing some of those results, and basically we focused on traveller segmentation, so looking at the new traveller tribes after the pandemic. And so we have used our global travel survey. We speak to 40,000 consumers around the world, and from that we have created these 8 different segments. Of those segments, I'll be talking about luxury seekers today at ITB, along with wellness worshippers. But equally, we've focused on blended travellers, digital travellers, eco-adventurers, and it's actually been very interesting to see the different values, attitudes, and priorities of these different traveller tribes.
Mm-hmm. So what is the key message you want to convey at the ITB convention, and what are the insights you want the audience to take home?
Well, from the research that we've done into luxury travel that I will be highlighting today, we can see that luxury travel has completely transformed. It's become very much younger, more diverse. We see more emerging source markets at that high end of luxury, and equally they are digital natives. So essentially it's really very different from maybe some of those stereotypes that we had before the pandemic, that it was European or North American, older. But actually we're seeing it's much more young and diverse, as I said.
And that brings new chances to the market and more
Definitely.
New opportunities.
Challenges in terms of how to provide the best service across the customer journey. So embracing omni-channel, embracing new ways to engage with this new emerging luxury consumer. For example, we can see that they're very interested in Web 3.0, fascinated by, for example, NFTs, using NFTs, collecting them and exchanging them for travel experiences, travel rewards in the real world. So it's a very different kind of engagement. One other thing that that's really struck me is that these new luxury seekers, there's kind of a lot of green fatigue. So they are aware that they are responsible for climate change and negative climate impacts, because obviously luxury travel is much more carbon intensive. But at the same time, they're not really sure how to go about it. And so we see that they're less engaged with, say, recycling, reducing their emissions, or, sort of stopping single-use plastics. So it comes to the responsibility of those luxury brands to help those luxury consumers make the best, most informed choice and really facilitate that for them and enable a more positive type of travel.
So when it comes to environmental issues, so it's the luxury brands who are more in charge than the consumer, you would say?
We can see that they want to have a positive impact, but as I say, a little bit of fatigue. They're not really sure, because it takes a lot of constant effort, and so they're looking for these luxury brands to help them make that most informed choice. The other thing that I would say is that we're also seeing that there's three different ways that we see luxury travel play out post-pandemic. So there's the lifestyles and values, so aligning your social and political beliefs with your consumers. The purpose, which we've talked about with, having a positive impact on the environment. And then the third pillar is holistic well-being. And the fact that luxury travelers, and they're looking for luxury brands to also provide a very holistic well-being when they're away from home. So really sort of strong interest in a healthy mind, body, and spirit.
I see. So, looking at the industry from the outside or as a whole, the motto of this year's ITB convention is pioneer the transition in travel and tourism together. From your perspective, what is the biggest challenge of this transition and how can it be tackled?
Well, as we know, anybody that works in travel knows this, that we have to be truly sustainable. We have to be responsible and mitigate those negative impacts of tourism. Pre-pandemic, we had so many challenges, for example, in Europe with over-tourism. And there's just this sense post-pandemic that people want to do the right thing, but it is a very long journey to reach net zero by 2050. Obviously, there are milestones like reducing emissions by half by 2030 and then, going on to 2050. But it's a very long road ahead with lots of bumps along the way. So it's kind of the challenge because we have such a disparate and fragmented sector where 80% or more of our businesses are SMEs, small, medium enterprises or micro businesses. It's about bringing everybody together and ensuring that everybody is moving in the right direction. So that requires a very sort of coordinated cross-sector approach, collaboration, and it's very interesting to see various case studies around the world where, industry, public and private are working together with communities and equally ensuring that the communities have a voice as well about how tourism develops going forward.
The more we look at the details, the more complex the whole thing's become,
But that's why I would say ITB is such a great platform for bringing people in the industry together to share ideas, to collaborate and essentially come together to ensure that we are all moving in the right direction.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for your insights. That was very interesting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.